Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode on the Bedrock server here, and today we've been quite busy. We've got a lot done off camera and it's been quite a while since we've done an episode, so I thought I'd just give you a little update of what's been going on and what we've been up to here and sort of some of the plans left to do here on the base. So if we come out of here, as you can see, the first thing that's different is this little pathway, and this little house here is just another little addition to our village. I don't really want to spoil the main house too much just yet. So we built this little house. It's nothing special, it's just a little shack, little bit of decoration on the inside, some storage and whatnot, and a little balcony. So again, nothing too special, just a little shack here. And the plan is to carry on building these little houses and things all around the village and just completely change the style to a sort of dark theme like this. Now in the last episode you would have seen a big tower on the top. I have got rid of that, and as you can see now, if we come up to the bridge here, we have actually finished the front face of the house. Obviously I still need to put some like fences and stuff around the edge there and do a little bit more detailing and stuff like that. But I've started to actually form the mountain around so you can't see all the redstone for the storage room anymore. So obviously there's still a few little gaps and stuff I need to fill out and get it all nice. But I think this is looking lovely. It's got a nice little chimney. And you know, it works quite well, and I think it looks quite nice. You know, when you're flying in, it's starting to really come together. And this house is just honestly a beast. Like, it is so big. It is just massive. But we've actually done some other things as well. So before we go into the house and check that out, I do want to show you the mountain. So we have done so much terraforming since the last episode. I've actually built this whole bit of the mountain here, and as you can see, my base is all closed off now. I've built all of this mountain, and I think it looks kind of natural. So I think it kind of suits the area, and it, you know, it does sort of just blend in to the base. So I think all in all the mountain is looking very nice. Obviously we still got a little bit of work to do with it. It's still not quite perfect, but you know, at least my house is not just sticking out of the mountain anymore, so at least it's all covered up by that. So with that being said, I'm going to be putting a tower of some sorts here because it sort of looks like it needs one. Also going to be putting a tower on this, and then a bridge going across and connecting the two. So as you can see, if I can fly properly, right here there is a bit of a gap in the ceiling. Where is it? Just down here a bit. So you know, there's still some work to be done, but for the most part I think it's kind of, you know, it's looking kind of where it's gonna be. Like I say, a few more details and a bit more terraforming around here, and I think that will fully enclose all of this. So if we come into our actual base here, nothing in this room has really changed, but if we come over here, as you can see, I've ripped out the kelp farms that were here producing us bone meal for our super smelter. As you can see, this is all filled up, and I'll show you why in just a second. We've still got this as a bone meal farm, but I'm not quite sure what to do with this. I might just turn it into farming the actual like saplings, nether saplings and stuff like that, because at the minute I don't really need this as a bone meal farm, as we have finally found a decent design for a moss farm, which we have built down here. So in the last episode, this was all open. So this is all mountain that I've built, the ones we just saw on the outside. So this was all out in the open, and yeah, it was just a desert out there. So now we've got this all enclosed by a big mountain, and I decided to build this little contraption from Silent Whisperer, and it is a moss farm. So I'm not going to try and attempt to explain how all of this works, but I kind of modified Silent's design a little bit just to sort of suit my needs a bit more. So what we've done, if we turn this on, I'm going to just turn my sound down a little bit because it's quite a noisy farm. So the way we turn it on is if we come up this scaffolding and flick this lever. As you can see, this is just going to start absolutely cranking the moss out, and it's just going to keep going, and it will feed itself bone meal. So it's all very smart and technical, way too smart for me to understand how it all works. But if you want to go check this farm out, go look at Silent Whisperer's video, and then you can build it yourself. But yeah, so what I've done to modify this design is obviously I've added a different storage room, and it's not quite big enough. You know, a lot of the stuff does end up in the lava, so I don't have enough chests, which is absolutely crazy. And as you can see, the items will actually lag because it's making so many items. It's just insane, really. So if we jump down here, as you can see, I've got 4 of the slices actually making bone meal, and I've got 1 of the slices actually making all of the moss and the azaleas, the seeds, the carpets, all of that good stuff. And then it just goes into these 2 droppers here. I had to use 2 droppers just to keep up with this farm, so they'll get triggered and just all the stuff will come up into item filters, you know the drill. And as you can see, it is starting to really rack up moss. We're even getting a lot of these azalea trees, even the ones with the purple flowers. Also getting a load of seeds, and of course we're getting bone meal, which is very nice. Now I didn't set one up for the carpets because a lot of them will just end up in these chests here, and then the rest of it will just go in the lava, and that will just stop it, you know, crashing the server by building up items and stuff like that. But as you can see on the back side, it's just normal item filters, you know the drill. So pretty simple, just using a double chest to align them, and everything gets sorted and is really good. So it all works brilliantly. I did say it does feed itself bone meal, so as you can see, a bone meal line goes in here and keeps all of these droppers topped up, which goes into the dispenser at the top, which obviously grows the moss. So that all works well. So this farm will essentially just run forever, and every bit of bone meal we get here is just pure profit. So this farm works really, really well, and I'm really happy with it. You can also put bone meal in here if it ever runs out, and it will reboot the farm. So this is the moss farm we built. Eventually I am going to turn every single slice here into a bone meal farm, but at the minute I thought we'd stockpile a good bit of moss and things like that. So we are going to be using some of that moss. We've already started, and I will show you that just in a minute. So let's turn this farm off, and we'll go and show you what else we've been up to here in the base. So the first thing, if I can fly, I need to build a proper way of getting out of here, because at the minute it's a bit nutty getting out of there. But if we actually come up here to where our super smelter is, I have actually built this little room here. So before, this was where that tower was in the last episode, and obviously that is gone now, and we've built this facade thing on the front. And we've now got all of this space in here. And as you can see, I've missed little holes and things, so it's still not perfect. And obviously this bit here needs to just get mined out a bit more, just to give us a nice big space here. So what we've actually got is a farm for these things, which we are going to be using to farm lava. So if you didn't know, if you have a source block above a block with one of these on it, they will just drip through, and I think it's about 20 minutes and then it will fill up a bucket of lava. And then all you've got to do is just get an empty bucket. I don't actually have an empty bucket right now, but you get the idea. You just get an empty bucket and just you can get some free lava. It saves you a trip to the nether when you're building a farm or whatnot. And this is fairly simple. They just grow down. As soon as they hit the observer block, these pistons trigger. They fall in the hoppers, go in this chest. Happy days. I'm not actually sure if this farm works yet, so you'll have to let me know in the comments if you guys know. But this thing's been set up for quite a long time, and I actually haven't got any from it. So we might have to revisit this farm in another episode. But for now, we're just going to sort of leave it as is. But yeah, so that's the main sort of stuff we've been doing here. We have got one more thing to show you, which is right at the bottom of our base. So if you remember, we built a massive hole underneath our base, and now I've got the job of trying to decorate it, right, so it looks a bit better. And as you can see down there, there's some moss carpet on the floor. So I have been going along and trying to moss carpet this whole floor, and normally this place is flooded with slime, so this is going to stop all of these spawning. And I've just been hiding sort of torches under the moss here, and I think it looks a lot better than just sort of like bedrock and stuff like that. Like if you take a little fly around and look down, it does look so much better. Obviously when all these torches are gone and all of these dark lines are gone, it will look a lot nicer. But I do need your help in the comments below, guys, to find out what to put on the sides of the walls, because it is a huge space to cover, and I don't know what to put in the walls, because at the minute it looks kind of a mess. It doesn't really look finished, so we're going to need to take care of that and sort of put a nice wall on here. I'm not too sure how decorative it's going to be. I don't know whether it will just be one flat colour, but I'm sort of leaning towards concrete. It's just deciding the right colour and the right sort of, you know, thing for this build down here. But it is quite a massive space, so it needs to be something, you know, that is easily farmable, because we're going to need an absolute ton of it. But that, all in all, is the sort of changes we've been doing here. It has been a while since we've done an episode, and that's mainly because I haven't really been on Minecraft much. I've been playing the new Call of Duty, I've been playing Age of Empires, so it is nice to actually get back on the server and get some stuff done. I fall down. Now, one thing I will say that has been a bit of an issue of not being on the server and coming back is the farms. So this gold farm, as you know, works absolutely amazingly. It's brilliant, and I wouldn't change anything about it. But there is one issue at the minute. So in 1.17, which is what we are on this server, there is a bug where tridents, after they've been thrown, will despawn. Now that shouldn't happen. So normally there is about 8 tridents in there, and I've actually lost about 16 tridents to this trident killer alone. So what we have to do now with any farm that's got a trident killer is take the tridents out and store them, because otherwise they're just going to despawn in here, which is a shame. So hopefully Mojang get that fixed for the next update. And in the next update, in the 1.18, this mob farm we built should work a lot better, because in 1.18 mobs will only spawn in complete darkness. And this is why we thought ahead when we built this farm and we did the sides out of the dark glass, the tinted glass stuff. And that just means now we can still see in there, but when that update comes out, this farm will be cranking out all of the good stuff we want. And yeah, it's just going to be really cool to see this get more efficient. And I'm still sort of thinking whether we should mimic this and build another one right here and just sort of connect the storage up together. I don't know if that's going to improve rates or not, or slow it down, but something we need to start thinking about for the future. But yeah, so that's all the updates we've got to show you today. So what else are we going to do in this episode? So I have figured out a sort of way to do time lapses. It is a little bit temperamental, so I'm still sort of working that out. But I think the first thing on the agenda here for me is to sort of get all of this covered in moss on the floor, just to stop anything spawning, like this little guy down here. It's just going to stop anything spawning and keep us nice and safe when we're down here. And also it's just going to look a lot nicer, because I think this does look a lot better than it does sort of over here, right, where it's just all a bit of a mess and a bit chaotic. So I'm going to go do that off camera and whatnot, and we shall be back to do some more shenanigans and stuff on the server here. So I hope you guys enjoyed that first time lapse there. Obviously in the future I will get better at doing the time lapses. Still figuring it all out and still sort of practicing with it. But as you can see, this room looks a lot better now that it's got some walls in it, and now that it's got some floor as well. I've left this side sort of open a little bit, purely because we're probably going to expand that way. We do have the double zombie spawner up there as well, that we may eventually turn into something. And we've also got this slime chunk here that we may do something with in the future. So I've sort of left this half of the wall sort of open for now, just in case we do need to expand or want to do anything with that stuff up there. What you didn't see in the time lapse as well is I've also started to do this fog glass effect at the top here. And I think that's just going to be a cool little ceiling. Obviously I still need to do the rest of it and put like a proper floor and ceiling at the very top. But I think that's going to work out quite nice and going to make this area just look kind of nice and different. Decided just to go with grey concrete on the walls. I know I was going to leave it in the comments for you guys to decide. But you know, I found some motivation and just decided to crack on and smack it all out. And I think it looks very nice and very clean now. It looks a lot better than everything looking like this. So it's a lot cleaner and a lot better. So we've done absolutely a lot of work down here. And this thing, as you can hear, is starting to crank out a lot more now that we're not having slimes and things spawning here. So that's good news. As you can see, all the items are still getting tunneled up into our chests over here, and that's going to pay off very, very soon. Still tempted to build another one here, but I'm not too sure yet. And those of you that don't know, this is a fog glass effect. So if we fly over here, as you can see, it's just basically glass, space of air, glass, space of air, glass. Rinse and repeat, and the more you do that, the better this effect will look. And basically all we're going for is a sort of purple fog at the top there. And you know, I think it just looks kind of cool. It's something a little bit different. Normally people put that in the floor to make it look like it's foggy down below. I'm going for the sort of reverse where it's foggy up top, and I think it looks kind of nice. So it's something a little bit different. Obviously we're going to have some stuff up there that can't really be hidden, like all these hoppers from our spider farm. But other than that, I think it's going very well. And I don't know how these guys are still spawning down here. Maybe they spawned on the bits I missed. Because I'm pretty sure things can't spawn on moss carpet. But let me know in the comments below if I am wrong. It has been known to happen. So for this episode, I think we're going to wrap it up here. We've done quite a lot. It's more of a sort of updatey episode, this one. And in the next episode, we will be doing some more building out the front on the village and stuff. And maybe even a little bit more work in here. Between episodes, I am going to try and do this ceiling off camera. I'm not going to bother time-lapsing it because it is literally just going to be essentially the same as the walls, just with a ceiling. But yeah, I think it's looking really nice and really good. So we're going to end it there because we are out of time and it is long overdue for this episode. That being said, if you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and a comment and let me know what you think to our lovely new basement area down here. And as always, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. But until the next one, guys, bye bye.